Shalom, everybody. This is Betty Erica, aka Lady Yahuda, formerly known as Lady Smooth, and daughter of the Most High, daughter of the Most High Ministries. So today this is going to be like a short lesson, not too long as the first one, but I am finishing up part 2 to my video, the regathering of the scattered 12 tribes from the four corners of the earth, and who the people are. Okay. Have to make sure you guys see my ephod because YouTube does not like this. They don't like this. And we know the Chaldeans is running all of the networks, so we can see why they don't like that, because they don't want the truth to come out. So with that being said, I want to finish and where I left off, and first I want to read to you guys. I want to go into Jubilee because nobody really talks about Jubilee unless you hear it with the British royals when they mention it, but they don't talk about where it comes from, why they celebrate it, where it really comes from. And I think I've done a short lesson on Jubilees during Juneteenth, which is now a holiday of of the Hebrew Yasha'elites. So I'm gonna go into Jubilee, and first I want to show you guys something because I showed you guys this before. Jubilee is also talking about the captivity of the Lord's people, Yasha'el, as well as the Lord is our Jubilee. He is our Jubilee to escape and to come out of captivity. So I want to show you guys here. Okay. This right here was during the Jim Crow laws. And this was, as you can see the date. I don't know if you can see it very clear. And that's him, just the same person putting on this black makeup with the title at the top, Jubilee, if you can see that. Let me make sure you guys can see it really good. Hold on. It was 1870 through 1965. And he has Jubilee written above this black face because they know who the people are of the Bible. And he was making fun, of course, they make fun of the Hebrew Yasha'elites because that is, something that they done. Now, I want to just disclaimer here. When I talk about the Chaldeans, aka the Zionists, aka the Jews, the so-called Jews, Jewish people, when I say that, I'm not talking about in terms of well, I don't want to pretty this up because I just want to give it straight. I've met some nice people of that nature, because being Jewish is not a race. Majority of those who call themselves Jews are Europeans. Okay, they are Russian, they are Turkish, they are mixed with Arabic. Some of them are Arabic Jews. They're all around, but they do the practices which are Babylonian practices, okay? And when I say that, I mean it to say that these people are far from having the relationship of the biblical Messiah and biblical Ahia, okay? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is not what they have in their heart. It's based off of tradition, okay? Now, I used to attend. This is a little story for me. You guys get to know me. I used to attend a Messianic Jewish congregation, yeah. And my pastor was very nice, Michael Brown, and the congregation was very nice, and it taught me a lot. I raised my daughter in that church. I've been there many years, and I loved it. But as I come to the truth, and this goes for any church, even when I used to attend Grace Community, it goes for any church. Anybody who hides the truth and the true people, either they don't know better, which I doubt that they don't know better, is other a false doctrine, period. Because Jesus, aka, you guys call him Jesus, as Sister Carrie would say, aka Yesiah, the Messiah, he is a man of color. He's from the tribe of Judah. That even Russia has these artifacts. They have these artifacts, and all over the world they have these artifacts. And in Egypt, once again, Egypt, the biblical Yasha'elites. Okay? The bloodline is not of a Caucasian Messiah. And that's one reason why these people don't believe in him. Now, they're going to be looking for the Mahdi, a Muslim Antichrist, okay? Because it's not going to be the Christ. They don't believe Christ is risen already, okay? Which he has. How can the regathering happen before that? Anyways, let me go into Jubilee. So, this is... Okay, guys. Let's see. This is Jubilee. Come on now. Okay. Okay. This is Jubilee 14. No, Jubilee chapter 1, 14 through 20. And I am reading my Sefer. Okay. Because, of course, you all know that they took all of these scriptures out of the real Bible because they want to cover up the true people. They want to cover up the truth. And they don't want anybody knowing the truth. Okay, so it says, let's read it a little bit. I wanted you guys to see it too. Okay. And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of the other nations for captivity and for prey and for devouring. And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the other nations. And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments and all my judgments, and will go astray as the new moons and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees and ordinance. And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the other nations with all their heart. Okay, do you see that? And after this, they will turn to me from the other nations with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength. And I will gather them from amongst all the other nations, and they will seek me, and so that I shall be found of them. When they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul, I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I will remove them from the plant of uprighteousness with all my heart and with all my soul. And they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be head and not the tail. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will tabernacle with them, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Yahuwah Elohim. Elohim. And Moses fell on his face and prayed and said, O Elohai, do not forsake your people and your inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts. And do not deliver them into the hands of their enemies, the other nations, lest they should rule over them. and curse them to sin against you, and cause them to sin against you. Now, this is what happened. This is what happened. That does not sound like the Chaldeans, okay? At all. Because, first of all, they never went into captivity, okay? The Holocaust is not a form of captivity. It was a genocide thing that they went through, and it was all of a cause for the own purpose of making the political state we know today. For the currency, okay? This is all about currency, right? Nothing has to do with the heart of the Most High, with all their soul and all their might. If you speak to the Hebrew Yasharites, majority know the Lord. And it's in their soul, in their hearts, and in their might. Even if they are carrying on wicked sometime. Okay, so that's what happened, and that's Jubilees. You can read Jubilee yourself, find it, research it. It's chapter 114 through 20. Yeah. Chapter 114, verse 14 through verse 20. Okay? So, with that being said, let's go to what the Lord is going to do with the regathering, because he spoke it in Jubilee as well. Now, he's going to regather the Yasharites. Let's read Isaiah. Let me make sure we are reading Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And there shall come forth a rod of the stem out of Jesse, and a branch. Wait. I'm going to read verse 10, okay? Because Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root out of Jesse. Now, who is the root out of Jesse? King David. King David. King David is the root out of Jesse, which represents the tribe of Judah. And the Messiah is the root out of Jesse, which represents the tribe of Judah. Okay? So you have King David, who's of the bloodline of Judah, and Messiah, Jesus Christ, is of the bloodline of Judah, which is a root out of Jesse. Because out of Jesse's sons, when Samuel came to come pick a new king out of Jesse, out of the tribe of Jesse, out of the family of Jesse, the sons that were picked, out of all of the older brothers that were not picked, it was David, King David, who was the youngest of the sons. So, there should be a root out of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign, a flag of the people. To it shall the other nations seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Okay? So, the tribe of Judah will have a flag. Believe it will be the lion. And it shall come to pass in that day that Ahiah shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Asher, from Mizmarim, and from Petroth, and from Cush, and from Elim, and from Shinar, and from Shachmath, and from the islands of the sea. So wherever they are, wherever there is an island, wherever there is, we know Mizmarim is Egypt, everywhere, okay? Egypt is modern day America, okay? Cush is always Africa. All of these names been changed, okay? And from the islands, that's all you need to know, because you have the islands of Brazil, you have the islands of Jamaica, you have the islands of even um, you know, places like Sister Carrie Ann mentioned one of the European places that's an island. Europe or something, I don't know. I can't really say, but all I can say is that the from these islands, the tribe, the 12 tribes will be gathered and recovered, okay? And it goes on to say, verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and all shall assemble the outcasts of Yashael, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. From the four corners of the earth, not in one political little state. From the four corners of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. From the four corners of the earth. North, west, east, and south. Okay? The envoy also Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. So in other words, it will be out of their hands. Once Judah and the 12 scattered tribes have left aboard and the Lord has regathered them, you guys will see. Oh, it's not going to be pretty. It will not be pretty. It's going to be a tough time. Okay? It's going to be a tough time even before that happens, because during this time, the Antichrist will be set on the scene for a third term. And, oh, that brings me back. See, gotta remind myself, okay? So, okay, I did read Jeremiah 16, verse 15 through 17. And I'm just going to go, okay. It says, but Ahiah lives that brought up the children of Yashael from the lands of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. Because he's drove us out that way. He's drove the 12 tribes out that way. He's driven them to be scattered. He did that. Okay? He allowed that to happen. So read that very carefully. Where he had driven them. He had driven them. And this is verse 15. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 15. But Yahuwah lives that brought up the children of Yashael from the lands of the north, from all the lands where he has driven them. And I will bring them again. He keeps saying that word again. Into their land that I have gave their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways, and they are not hid from my face. Neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. Okay? He knows what Yashael's. He's always got his eyes on the world and Yashael and what they're up to. Okay? The apple of his eye. Whether people believe it, know it or not. Truth is truth. So as I read that, and I told you guys in the first video, the fishers, meaning they're going to fish them out of the seas. The boats are coming back the way they left. This is the way the ancestors of Yashael left. Okay? Deuteronomy 28. That's the way we left. From kings to being in bondage and being slavery, picking cotton on the boats, on the slave ships. But as prophetess Sister Carrie Ann says. And as the scriptures say, fishers will come back on boats. But it won't be like that. It will not be an uncomfortable ride like that. It will be luxurious, okay? And hunters, the angels will be coming, just as they came for Lot out of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I read that in the first video. So please take a look at the first video, okay? This is the second part 2 to the regathering, okay? And so last but not least, I am going to read. Last but not least, let me read Revelation 12. I think I read a little bit of it, but let's go over it again. Okay. So, because I want to speak about the woman in the church. So, all of the Gentiles, and let's make it real clear. Gentiles are very far different from heathens, okay? Heathens are doing practices that are not of the Lord, okay? Majority of these heathens are doing Babylonian practices. Gentiles are of any other race that just completely didn't grow up in the faith of the Lord, but are coming into the truth of the Lord. You know, those who want to love the Lord, which is considered the church. Okay, so, okay. Oh, okay, so Revelation 12, chapter 12, verse 14. Okay, let's go to chapter 12 first. Chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, traveling in the birth and in pain to be delivered. That's the number 1, okay? And we know, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head, okay? Now, I'm not going to read that part, but just to give you the first idea of the woman. Interesting, when Joseph told this vision, the sun and the moon and the 12 stars bowing down. The Lord always used the 12 stars to represent the 12 tribes. There's a reason for that. There is a deep reason for that. I won't go into that right now, but let's just go to, first of all, Revelation 12, verse 14. And the woman were giving, wait. Okay. Let's go to Revelation 12, verse 6. Just read all of Revelation 12 so you will understand it, because I cannot sum it up to what I highlighted here, you know. So I highlighted and I separated, so because the Lord will speak to me in different ways. Okay, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has placed and prepared Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,002 years and 60 days. So the woman represents the church. She's the woman with the 12 stars, which represents the 12 tribes. And, okay, and you go down to verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and time and a half from the face of the serpent. So soon as the Antichrist come on the scene, she flees. So the 12 scattered tribes and the church, those Gentiles that will go into the wilderness with her. As Sister Carrie Ann says, the Gentiles I'm talking about are Caucasian, Indian, Asian, whatever you are. Those who love Christ will be going with her. Not everybody, but it's just like the first Exodus. The first Exodus, you had some Gentiles that went with the Hebrew Yasha'elites, the biblical Hebrew Yasha'elites. Excuse me. Oh, getting tired again. Long week. Okay. Okay. So, that's what I wanted to break down. And there was another thing. Oh, before we leave today, I wanted to show you all, because this is another reason why. Okay. Again, I want to show you the so-called Jerusalem Post, right? It says, now the Jerusalem Post says the takeover of the Levites and emergence of a Jewish elite. Okay? So, it says the management team to Anchor Seal Convoyer Company 1965. And as he planted the seeds for a new anchor of Judaism, Zionism recognized the importance of having an elite. Okay, this is not, first of all, takeover of the Levites. Levites or of the Moses bloodline. Yeah. Moses was a Levite. Aaron was a Levite. A lot of the tribe of Judah is Levite. Levi and Judah are brothers. Those tribes go hand in hand, side by side. I believe in my bloodline I have both Judah and Levite, to be honest with you. The Lord has shown me so many different things. Yeah, so there's a lot of Levites. Okay, so when they say take over an emergence of a Jewish elite, they replace the stuff with the practices of Judaism, Zionism. This is not of the Lord of the tribe of Judah, of the God of Zion. Okay? It's two different things. And here's another thing. Here's a reason. Here's a reason why they hate this ephod. Okay, let's just show you again. People hate this. Especially when black people wear it. Okay, why? Because as you can see, there's a priest wearing the ephod going into captivity. Okay? This is Pin on Facts of True Hebrew/Jews. This is the priest wearing the ephod. The priest wearing the ephod with the 12 tribes. And on his ephod, he actually has the symbols of the animals that represents the 12 tribes. Levite, Judah. Oh, there's another one. Oh, Jubilee. I think I showed you guys this before. But even this right here, this is a black man working the field. And it says Jubilee. In the year end of the 7 cycles of Shemot, according to the biblical regulations, had a special impact on ownership and management of the land of Israel. According to the book of Leviticus, Hebrew slaves and prisoners would be free, debt would be forgiven, and mercies of Yahweh would be particularly manifest. Okay, yeah, it would. I don't know if you guys got that because my phone. And it said, okay, read it again. And according to biblical revelations, had a special impact on ownership and management of lands in the land of Israel. According to the book of Leviticus, Hebrew slaves and prisoners would be free, debt would be forgiven, and mercies of Yahweh would be particularly manifest. That hasn't happened yet, and it's coming. Okay. But Jubilee, yeah, the Lord is our Jubilee. Okay, but again, the priest, look at that very clear. And he has on a turban on his head. As the Bible mentioned many a times, the turban and the wrap. Okay, the sackcloth and the turban. That's what the priests wore. They wore turbans. They didn't wear that long hat and not. No. They didn't. They was not looking pilgrim-ish. They didn't look like pilgrims. Okay. They were a priest, and even the Messiah wore his sackcloth and his turban. Or sometimes he didn't even have on a turban because he's the priest of all priests. He don't need to really cover up his head. But yeah, you see that? He's the bread, the truth, and the life. This picture is the truth, honey. The true biblical Messiah. He didn't have that heart and with blood and all that Catholicism crap. He don't have that. He just say plain and simple, I am the bread and truth and life. Any that believe in me shall live forever. Any that eat of this bread shall live forever. Okay? And that's why we do communion. Okay? Here he is again. It's a reason why they don't want you all to know this, okay? So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I didn't want to make this video too long because this is the second part of my first video. Do your research about everything that I have unfolded today, okay? Everything that I have revealed and uncovered today, do your own research. And with that being said, we pray Psalms 91 on this channel. Shalom.